Something massive has just been dropped to Palantir today. Europe just announced a crazy plan to revamp their military. And Palantir is at the center of it. It's finally happening. We're talking about billions coming to Palantir in just a snap. People are hyped and analysts are dropping their signals. This is the moment where it might push Palantir to $1 trillion. What is happening? And why am I very excited about this? Well, let me explain. Disclaimer. Palantir is still turning heads, and it's not slowing down. The stock just shot up another 9% in a single day. That's not a small move. That's a statement. People are fired up, buzzing all over social media. And honestly, it's starting to feel like Palantir is entering a whole new chapter. And today, things just got even crazier. Because out of nowhere, Europe drops a bombshell. Apparently, they're getting serious about boosting their military power. We're talking a massive shift. Billions upon billions potentially being funneled into defense upgrades, modern tech, and battlefield readiness. And right in the middle of that conversation is Palantir. Yeah, the same Palantir that's been building cutting-edge software for governments and militaries around the world. If Europe starts rolling out those contracts, guess who's primed to win big? Palantir. This could open up huge new revenue streams. We're not just talking about one country either. This is an entire continent gearing up for something major. And what does that mean for the stock? Let's just say, the Wall Street prediction that Palantir could one day become a trillion-dollar company, it's starting to feel a lot less like a moonshot, and more like a matter of when, not if. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's check out what this hype is doing to the chart right now. One analyst put it really well in a tweet. He said Palantir is sitting at a crucial level on the weekly chart. We could be seeing a double top pattern forming, which usually hints at a pause or pullback if the price can't break higher. Sounds like a warning, right? But here's the bullish part. It's all happening in what traders call the green zone. That's a strong support area where the price has held up multiple times in the past. Launchpad. Every time Palantir dips into this zone, buyers step in and the stock takes off again. And it's not just retail traders piling in. On the MCDEX indicator, we're seeing those thick banker buy bars show up right around the $20 level. That's a major sign that institutions, big money players, are buying in. Quietly, steadily. And when they do that, it's usually because they know something. Or at least they believe something big is coming. So here's the setup. If Palantir holds this support, and then manages to smash through its all-time highs, we could be looking at an explosive breakout. Not just some quick pop. This could be the start of a whole new leg up in Palantir's journey. And here's the thing. Just when you think the hype is already off the charts, another analyst comes in and says, this is just the beginning. According to him, Palantir isn't anywhere near its peak. In fact, he believes it's still in the early stages of growth, like baby steps. He explains that Palantir is operating in a league of its own. No real competitors, no one even close when it comes to what they're doing in data, restructuring, and inferencing. Basically, while most companies are still trying to figure out how to organize and use their data, Palantir is already running laps around them, turning messy, raw data into real-time insights and action. That kind of capability? It's not just useful, it's game-changing. And here's where it gets really wild. He dropped a price target that has people doing double takes. He says we could see Palantir hit somewhere around the 240 to 250 range by the end of this year. Yeah, not 5 years from now. This year. It sounds insane at first. Until you remember how quickly momentum builds in the market once a stock gets institutional attention, real contracts, and global scale behind it. That kind of rally would mean we're not just talking about a strong company anymore. We'd be watching the birth of a tech giant. And here's what's wild. Palantir might not just become a tech giant someday, it might already be one. Because today, something massive just dropped. Europe has officially announced a total revamp of its military. And I'm not talking about a few updates or small shifts. I mean, a complete transformation. What's happening right now across Europe is huge. If you're really watching the headlines, you can see it. This is quietly shaping up to be one of the biggest moments ever for Palantir. Here's the deal. For years, Europe's approach to defense has been pretty slow-moving. Most countries didn't prioritize heavy investment in military technology. But now, that mindset is changing. Fast. European leaders are suddenly realizing they need to modernize, coordinate, and build smarter systems that can handle the complex security challenges of today's world. Germany is stepping up in a big way. Just this week, they told the EU they want to massively increase defense spending, and they don't want to be held back by outdated rules. They're asking for an emergency clause that would let them pump billions into rearmament, without worrying about breaking any budget restrictions. The European Commission is already on board with a 5-year rearmament plan, and the scale of it? It's staggering. We're talking hundreds of billions being allocated toward upgrading Europe's entire defense system, from weapons to logistics to digital infrastructure. And now the focus isn't just on traditional military hardware, it's about integrating advanced AI and real-time data across all operations. And this is where Palantir steps into the spotlight. Because sure, Europe can build tanks, planes, and all the physical tools. But when it comes to software, real operational software that connects everything, there's nobody doing it like Palantir. Palantir has this unique edge. Their platform can take massive amounts of data, satellite feeds, drone footage, logistics, troop movements, even weather, and fuse it all together into a single, real-time view. That means faster decisions, smarter planning, and total battlefield visibility. It's not just software. It's the digital brain behind military operations. And they're already involved. They've got long-term contracts with the UK Ministry of Defence. They're working closely with German state and federal police through a national tech framework. And Spain has brought them on for advanced defense software as well. But the biggest development? NATO itself just signed on to use Palantir's cutting-edge battlefield AI system, Maven Smart System, across allied forces. That's huge. That's infrastructure-level trust. So now, as Europe throws massive funding into defense, who do you think is going to get those software deals? Who's already proven they can handle this kind of scale? Exactly. Palantir is positioned perfectly for this moment. This isn't about just throwing more troops on the ground. It's about creating a smarter, faster, and more connected defense force. That's what Europe wants. That's what Palantir builds. Their tech literally gives militaries the power to see and react in real time. Whether it's rerouting a convoy, managing mission planning across borders, or syncing up data from multiple sources, Palantir's software delivers intelligence that's actually usable, right when it's needed most. And investors? Oh, they've taken notice. Palantir's stock has been absolutely flying. It started this year around the mid-20s and recently exploded past the 120 mark. That's a 5 times return in just a few months. And a lot of that momentum kicked in after the NATO deal was announced. The market's waking up. People are realizing Palantir isn't just another AI company. It's becoming the central nervous system of Western defense. And the bullish case doesn't stop there. Their customer base has been growing fast. Existing clients? They're spending more than ever. Revenues are climbing, and that's before all these new European contracts even land. The whole story has changed. A year ago, folks were debating whether Palantir was a niche tech company. Now, people are asking when, not if, it hits $1 trillion valuation. Analysts like Dan Ives of Wall Street are already calling it. The combo of AI, global defense, and zero real competition? That's not just bullish, it's explosive. So yeah, this shift in Europe? It's not just some policy tweak. It's a complete reimagining of defense, and it's happening right now. And Palantir is right there at the center. Not just tagging along, but leading the charge with tech no one else has. Bigger budgets, global attention, locked-in deals, and a product that's about to become essential. This could be the moment Palantir truly levels up and cements its place as one of the most important tech companies in the world. And even if we zoom out and look at the long term, Palantir's future still looks crazy bright. Like, it's not just about the next quarter or the next contract. This company is building something way bigger. And honestly, we should always keep in mind what Palantir's CEO, Alex Karp, said not too long ago. He literally said, "A juggernaut is emerging. This is the software century, and we intend to take the entire market." Now that might sound bold, but if you've been watching how Palantir is moving, it doesn't feel so far-fetched anymore. Just think about where they're sitting right now. They've got the tech. They've got the government relationships. They're dominating in areas where no other software company is even playing. Real-time AI for defense, for logistics, for infrastructure. They're not building another social media app. They're literally building the systems running the modern world. That vision Karp talked about? It's happening. You can feel it. The way Palantir is locking in deal after deal, becoming essential to how countries operate. It's like we're watching that juggernaut come to life in real time. And if this is the software century, well, Palantir's already leading the charge. The market is waking up to that, fast. But what is your opinion on this? Comment down below. If you are curious to find more, then make sure to click on
whales cannot be stopped. Trillions of Shiba Inu tokens, hundreds of millions of dollars. And the data suggests that this is just the beginning. People are waking up seeing these numbers, trying to benefit from this opportunity. But what is actually happening? And how long will this market craze last? Well, let's find out. Disclaimer: the market has pivoted to a recovery phase, but some altcoins still haven't reclaimed their yearly highs, despite Bitcoin spiking above the $71,000 threshold. Shiba Inu is also part of this recovery trend, but is facing strong resistance due to multiple sell walls. A sell wall occurs when a large number of sell orders are placed at a particular price level, creating a barrier that can be difficult for the price to rise above. For example, imagine there are 100 Shiba Inu tokens available for sale at 1 penny. If buyers only want to purchase 50 tokens at that price, the supply at that level is much higher than that demand, making it hard for the market to buy the tokens that are available at that price to move up past 1 penny. However, there is a way we can surpass these sell walls and achieve new highs for Shiba Inu. But before we dive into that, we need to take a look at what's happening with Bitcoin. Today has been a literally crazy day for Bitcoin, and its impact on Shiba Inu is enormous. Spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds, or ETFs, have achieved their longest streak of consecutive net inflows since they launched, with 18 straight days of positive flows as of Thursday. Since launching in January 2021, the price of Shiba Inu has increased by $1.2 billion, and even though the current inflows are still lower than the peak levels in March, according to the Blocks data dashboard, the sustained positive net inflows, especially driven by BlackRock, highlight continued strong interest and confidence in Bitcoin among investors. 18 days in a row of positive inflows definitely gives us a bullish sign. It shows that more investors are putting their money into crypto, which is some very good news for any crypto enthusiast. But traditional investors aren't the only ones accumulating Bitcoin. Just take a look at this crypto whale. According to a report by Wu Blockchain based on research from CryptoQuant, around $1 billion worth of Bitcoin is being added every day to a massive new whale wallet. In total, long-term holders have amassed 70 Bitcoin over the last 30 days, with whale demand increasing at a rate of 4.4% per month. And now you might be wondering if 4.4 is a big number. It definitely is. To put it in perspective, if you start with $10,000 and add 4.4% every month in 5 years, you'd have a lot more than you might expect after 5 years. That 10,000 would grow to around $87,000. This shows how powerful a 4.4% monthly increase can be over time, highlighting the significant impact of the current whale demand on Bitcoin's market. But in addition to that, just today, according to CoinGlass data, Bitcoin open interest has reached a new all-time high peak of $37 billion open. Interest refers to the total dollar amount of Bitcoin in the last 5 years, which is about a third of the total dollar amount of outstanding Bitcoin futures or options contracts. And you might be wondering, is this metric important? Absolutely. Open interest is a crucial indicator of market sentiment and activity in the futures and options markets. A high level of open interest suggests that there is significant trading activity and interest in Bitcoin derivatives, indicating a strong and active market. So while some may have thought that the crypto market is flat and boring right now, it actually isn't. The record-breaking open interest is a significant indicator of the market, and Bitcoin futures and options demonstrates that there is still plenty of excitement and activity happening in the crypto space. But here's something very interesting. Despite the strong inflows and a Bitcoin rally past 71, Google Trends data reveals a surprising trend. Compared to 2021, hardly any Americans are conducting searches related to Bitcoin FSITs. Price or crypto in general. Google Trends assigns a value out of 100 based on a search interest relative peak popularity. For example, on June 5, searches for Bitcoin originating from the US scored only 31, while Bitcoin ETF had a mere one. Other related searches such as Bitcoin price and crypto received slightly higher index scores of 18 and 13 respectively, but still remained significantly below the search volumes during 2021's retail-driven bull run. Interest in crypto-related searches has dwindled over the year. There were spikes in interest across the board. On January 11th, the price of Bitcoin has been rising for the past year, and the price of fiat Bitcoin has been all-time high for the first time since 2021. It's noteworthy that search interest for Bitcoin peaked in May 2021, a few weeks after surpassing 50,000 for the first time and just before reaching its long-standing all-time high of nearly 69,000 in November 2021. Crypto analyst Miles Dutcher shared data indicating a significant decline in viewership of crypto-related YouTube channels compared to 2021, despite Bitcoin surpassing its previous all-time high in 2021. During Bitcoin's peak, crypto YouTube channels were garnering around 4 million daily views. However, in 2024, despite Bitcoin reaching new highs, daily views have dropped to approximately 800,000. Dutcher emphasized, retail isn't back yet. According to him, there's no better indicator of the current state of the market than crypto YouTube views. This decline in viewership suggests that mainstream retail interest in cryptocurrency has not returned to the level seen during the 2021 bull run, despite Bitcoin's price reaching new heights. But still, with 18 days of Bitcoin ETF inflows and massive whale accumulation, you might wonder, why hasn't the price skyrocketed yet? Where's the impact of these developments? Well, that's a good question. Analyst Jimmy sheds some light on this. He explains that spot Bitcoin ETFs worldwide hold only about 5% of the total Bitcoin circulating supply, while the majority is held by whales. Jimmy notes that while ETF inflows are indeed significant, they are still minimal compared to the volume of Bitcoin being traded and sold by these large holders. He emphasizes that for every buyer in the market, there needs to be a seller, and the actions of these major players can heavily influence price movements. Even though the price might not react immediately, the recent developments such as 18 consecutive days of inflows into Bitcoin, ETFs, and whales accumulating Bitcoin are still considered bullish. This is because these actions demonstrate a growing interest and confidence in Bitcoin as an asset class among both institutional investors and individual traders. While the price might not reflect these developments right away due to various factors influencing the market, such as short-term speculation and profit-taking, the underlying trend indicates a strengthening foundation for Bitcoin's long-term growth. Essentially, these actions lay the groundwork for future price increases. In the long term, the price of Bitcoin is expected to rise to $1.5 billion, which is a significant increase in the market's day-to-day fluctuations. But what about Shiba Inu? Well, if Bitcoin experiences a significant price increase due to recent developments, it will have a massive impact on Shiba Inu. We know that Shiba Inu is highly sensitive to Bitcoin movements and shares a strong correlation with it. Currently, Shiba Inu faces a major obstacle in the form of a massive sell wall, according to Into the Block data. This wall represents a threshold. We're over the top. Over 64,000 addresses collectively hold 69 trillion Shiba Inu tokens, which is over 10% of the entire supply. The selling pressure from these addresses often leads to corrections in Shiba Inu's price, as we've seen in recent movements. As a result, Shiba Inu has retraced most of the gains it made during the recent rally. This situation can be frustrating for Shiba Inu investors, as the presence of such a large sell wall can impede its upward momentum. However, Shiba Inu is now aiming to sell Shiba Inu, stabilize above its current price level, and use it as a foundation for a second upward push when bullish sentiment returns. To surpass this immediate sell wall, Shiba Inu would need to confidently close above 4027. But with the potential upcoming push in Bitcoin's price, according to previous patterns, this should significantly benefit Shiba Inu. This is precisely what we need for Shiba Inu to overcome its current challenges and resume its upward trajectory. But what is your opinion on that? Comment down below. I'd be eager to read your opinion. If you are curious to find more, then make sure to click on one of the videos you see on screen. And with that, we come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed the video, then please like this video and don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section. This really helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Also, please share this video to as many people as possible. Let's get this news out there.